y'all doing today?
Good.
Grab this microphone. I doubt that I need it though. But welcome to Barnes & Noble at Citiplace. Yes, give it up. Because they are hosting an amazing event today, and I am so proud and happy to be a part of it. So my name is Havilah Malone. I am Miss Louisiana Universal 2018. So I was actually just recently crowned on October the 7th. And so I'm really excited to be able to represent this great state of Louisiana and traveling around and just really being able to bring awareness to people about being proof of what's possible in life. And I'm so excited to be here with this fellow author. Yes, because it takes a lot for someone to actually write a book. And not to just write a book, because how many of us have like really great ideas? Yes, those ideas that hit you at like 2 o'clock in the morning, that wake you up out of your sleep, and you start to write down those notes, or you're in the shower and you're singing and you're like, you know, that would be such a great book. How many of you have some books in you? Absolutely. Each and every one of us has a book inside of us. But sometimes we allow life or circumstances or our own insecurities or just, hey, I don't know how to do this. So we don't pursue those things that are inside of us. We don't go after them. But I'm here to tell you that no matter how young you are, how old you are, what you've gone through in life, you can have, you can do, and you can be anything that you set your mind to. So I am actually a native of the Kenner, Louisiana area. I graduated from the University of New Orleans when I was 19 years old. So I graduated in a degree in dramatic arts and communication, and I minored in psychology. I thought, okay, I can go down this path of being a lawyer, or I could just play one on TV. So I decided to go down that route. As a matter of fact, you can find me on an upcoming episode of NCIS New Orleans. That will be airing on January the 2nd. So make sure you set your, it's your show, all right. I'll be Officer Mary Crane, so definitely check that out. Yeah, but you know what, it's all about us having and giving ourselves permission to go after the things that we want in life. Are any of you familiar with the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill? Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, was actually published back in 1937. It's actually one of the top 10 best-selling books of all time. It's created more millionaires than any other success philosophy in history. Anybody could, you know, benefit from having $1 million? You know, just a cool million here or there, you know, $100,000. So would you be okay if somebody just put that into your bank account? Absolutely. Well, you know what? There's things that individuals who have reached those levels of success that they do that's a little bit different than what everybody else does. So if you could find out what successful people do that is a little bit different, either how they think, how they operate, what their habits and behaviors are, would you want to know? Would you maybe want to incorporate some of those things in your life? Absolutely. Well, Napoleon Hill, he took an assignment. So Andrew Carnegie, anybody familiar with Andrew Carnegie, the steel magnate, the richest man of his time? He gave Napoleon Hill an assignment. He said, you know what? There is no written philosophy of success right now. There's nowhere you can go and find out what we've done to be able to become successful. So I want you to take, it's probably going to take about 20 years of your life. 20, anybody taking on a job that's taking 20 years? Right? So your 20 years of your life, I'm not going to pay you to do it. So you're going to have to find your own way while you do this. All I'm going to do is just make introductions to some very successful people. So I will write you some introduction letters, and that's it. So Napoleon Hill, he's standing in his house. He puts his hands in his pocket, and he literally had just enough money to be able to get from where he was back home. But he was like, you know what, if this man who has reached this level of success, he obviously sees something in me. Is anybody who's ever poured a seed into you, who saw something special in you, whether it was a teacher or a partner or a good friend, they saw something in you? Yeah, absolutely. And so somebody believes in you. And sometimes we have to be able to feed on those seeds of belief that other people have in us, even if we don't have it in ourselves. So we say, you know what? This man who's achieved this success, let me go for this. Let me try it. Who knows? And it literally took him 20 years of his life. But he went and interviewed over 500 of the most successful people of his time. From Henry Ford to Thomas Edison. These lights that we enjoy in this building right now, Thomas Edison. Yeah.
I've learned about Henry Ford at school.
What did Henry Ford do?
He invented the car called the Ford.
Yes, exactly.
I have a favorite saying by Henry Ford. Whether you believe you can or whether you believe you cannot, you are usually correct.
Yes. If you think you can or you think you can't, you are usually right. And that is so true because our greatest power lies right here in our mind. You have the choice of what it is that you create in this life. And so after interviewing these 500 individuals, he came down to this philosophy of success, and it was released in the book in 1937 called Think and Grow Rich. And now, matter of fact, in December of 2016, for the first time in history, those same 17 principles that have transformed a lot of adults' lives have now been made available for children through this book called The Amazing Adventures of Oliver Hill. Yes. So now to be able to give kids a foundation for success that is unlike any other is now available for the first time in history. And it breaks down each of the 17 principles. So if you can teach your child how to have self-discipline, anybody need some self-discipline in their life? Look.
All the fingers pointing.
Guilty and accused. Yes. Like, who, me? Like, I don't think so. What about, have you ever thought about starting your own business at your age?
No.
No, not yet? All right, you have.
In the front yard.
Fantastic. So to be able to harness those skills, to be able to use that to get what you want out of life, wouldn't that be pretty cool? So I'm going to share with you, as a matter of fact, especially since we're in the gift giving season. So has everybody finished all their Christmas shopping? Nah. I'd say not even close. So we have some more things we need to buy, right? And maybe all year long we were budgeting our money to be able to get it ready and prepared for. I think we're done. Get it prepared for this holiday season. So what if you can teach your children from youth how to budget their time and money? Anybody want to be able to teach your kids how to do that? So I'm going to share with you one of my favorite stories. This is called Pay Yourself First, Budgeting Time and Money. It says, Big Zeke was looking up at the sky as planes raced and flew really high. In an instant, they would flip upside down and loop and loop and loop all around. Big Zeke and his dad enjoyed the high flyer show, and they were so glad they decided to go. After the high flyer show came to an end, into the gift shop Big Zeke went to spend, spend, spend. He picked up everything from model planes to goggles, even t-shirts and a pen, paying no attention to cost. His shopping had no end. Once his arms were overflowing with things to buy, he walked up to the register and stepped aside, looking to his dad to buy it all, but his dad replied, "Nice try. Where's your money to buy all of this, son? You get a weekly allowance, and now you have none?" Big Zeke said, "I have no idea where my money goes. As soon as I get $1 in my hand, it slips through my fingers like grains of sand. I can't help but spend it. I mean, isn't that what you do?" No, son. There's a lesson I want to share with you. A lesson that will last your whole life through. Big Zeke, this is something I wish I learned as a child. As his dad wrapped his arm around him as he smiled. You never want to spend more money than you earn. Pay yourself first is a lesson you must learn. Set aside at least 10% or more if you can. Here, son, let me help you to understand. Out of every single dollar you make, listen carefully, son, 10 cents is yours to take, to put aside and save and grow for you. At first, this may seem like a small amount, but over time, it can become humongous and count. You'll be able to do whatever you want to do, including buying model planes and real ones too. Big Zeke got excited and began to understand that saving his money was the perfect plan. He decided today was the best day to start. Paying himself first will play a big part in bringing him the money he would need to bring about his wildest dreams indeed. His dad allowed him to pick one item from the bunch that he would treat him to, along with his favorite lunch. Big Zeke picked a model plane he saw on the show as his symbol of how he would make his money grow. Big Zeke hugged his dad with all of his might, as he knew his future would be very, very bright. So that is pay yourself first. Principle 16, budgeting time and money. How many of you would say, you know what, if I had known what I know right now, back when I was younger, how much further along would I be? You know, it said that 98% of the people in the world are just wondering about. They have no definite aim. They haven't chosen for themselves what they want out of life. And I'm going to ask the young ones in here, do you know what you want? You know what you want to be when you grow up? What do you want to be? A YouTuber? I know that's right. They make good money. What kind of subjects are you going to YouTube about? About gaming? Okay. Any particular kind of game? Minecraft. Okay. So you have a very specific genre of game that you are very interested in. Awesome. See, clarity is key to anything in life. What you got?
Military.
Going to the military? All right. You know what branch of the military you're interested in?
Marines.
The Marines. Number 5. All right. All right. Excellent. What about you, young man?
A police.
A police officer? All right. You could be like me on NCIS. Awesome. Awesome. What about you?
I want to be a veterinarian.
A veterinarian? Awesome. Let me ask the adults, are there still some things that you want to do that you haven't quite accomplished yet? Some dreams that have gone? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, all right, Dad. Look, just like you pointed him out. Look.
He wants me to buy him a boat.
Ah, okay. Well, hey, you start using this pay yourself first method, you can buy those model boats and real ones too. I love it. Yes. So deciding what we want is the first step. It's the key. Because once you decide what you want, all of the things that we need will start to come to us that answer that question of how do I go about getting it. So we want to start with, it's actually principle number 1, called definiteness of purpose. And this story is called The Amazing Lemonade Stand. So it was another sunny day, and Oliver was dreaming away how he could get his brother and sister to come out and play. Olivia was always busy laughing with her friends in her own small world playing pretend. His older brother, Big Zeke, had his head stuck in a book. Oliver pleaded, "Look, Big Zeke, look! Those books can wait another day. Please come out and play." Big Zeke shook his head, "Not today." And Olivia, she just laughed him away. Oliver, with head hanging low for all to see, went and sat by his favorite lemon tree, deciding that he would find a way to get his big brother and sister to come out and play. His little puppy Cody, mischievous could be, grabbed a lemon from the lemon tree. He brought it to Oliver, but he wouldn't let it go. Oliver stood up and shouted, "Now I know! A lemonade stand is what it will be for Big Zeke, Olivia, and me." With Mom and Dad's help, work was underway, and Oliver's excitement and giggling could be heard throughout the day. Big Zeke began to peek from behind his book, and Olivia's curiosity brought her outside to look. Neither could believe what they saw with their eyes. The amazing family lemonade stand. What a big surprise. Big Zeke and Olivia asked Oliver, "Can we come over and play?" "Of course," Oliver replied. "That would make my day." Oliver was so excited that his dream had come true of getting his big brother and sister to play with him as he knew he could do. So that is definiteness of purpose with the amazing lemonade stand. So let me ask the young ones, what was it that Oliver wanted? Have there ever been times in things where you want, where you had to like figure out a strategy, you have to figure out a way to make it happen? Like what?
I can't remember, but I know it happened.
Absolutely. So you made a decision, like this is what I want, and I'm gonna go after it, right? Like I am not one who was like, I grew up in like the pageant world or pageant systems or any of that good stuff. But you know, every young lady, you know, has that dream of like being the princess and watches the Disney movies and, you know, kind of identifies with those characters. Matter of fact, the character I identified most with was the Little Mermaid. I know, it's just like, you don't understand me in this world. Like there's another world you can't understand me in. And that was one of my favorite films because I identified with that particular princess. But there were things that happened throughout my life that kind of put me off of that path of even thinking that I was good enough to be able to do something like this. And so those dreams that we kind of bury, that we push down, that we say, you know what, one day, or maybe it won't happen. And I came upon a birthday this past year, so July, so I'm a Cancer baby. And I said, you know what is my next chapter going to look like? See, a lot of people, you have a bucket list. Anybody have a bucket list? All those things that you want to do before you die. So I turned around my bucket list and I call it an adding life to my years list. Because I'm not going to wait until I'm about to die before doing all the things that I want to do in life. Let me start putting together a plan right now to make it happen. And sometimes that means taking the leap, taking risk. And what do we fear most? Change and risk. Because we don't know what's on the other side of that risk. But I decided, I said, you know what? I want to wear that crown. I want to be a part of this pageant system. My cousin was actually in the top 10 of the Miss USA pageant that happened this past in May on Fox. And as I watched her journey, I was like, you know what? I want to do that. And not just someday, today. So I made the decision. I did my research. I found out, and quite frankly, the pageant world is a big world. Good Lord. But I went after it, and I stand before you today as Miss Louisiana Universal 2018. Yes. And I will go on in August to Omaha, Nebraska to compete for our national title. And once I win that, I will go on for our international title. There, anything that you set your mind to, anything you want to do, go for it. And even if you fall down flat on your face and it doesn't happen the first time, and you fall down flat on your face and it doesn't happen the second time, you continue to go and you be persistent. And you can be proof of what's possible. So I want to thank each and every one of you for coming over here, sharing this time with us. I want to open up for questions. If anybody has any questions, I will be more than happy to answer those for you. And I'm also here for photo ops and book signings as well. So yes, you definitely want to make sure you take home a copy of The Amazing Adventures of Oliver Hill. Be a great stocking stuffer for your family and friends. So do you ladies and gentlemen have any questions? Absolutely.
I spent a lot of my educational career trying to figure out, how do you suggest encouraging young people, besides the book? What can you do day to day to encourage young people? Because they are our future.
Yes.
They are our future.
Yes.
And we want to leave the world in good hands. So what, do you have any suggestions as parents, as grandparents, aunts, uncles? How do we encourage our children to identify and pursue their dreams, their talents?
That's an amazing question, and thank you for asking that. And I think that it starts with us. Because a lot of times we want to be able to tell our kids, you should go for your dreams. You dream big, do it, like don't hold back. But what is the example that we're showing? What does our life actually speak to that child? Are we pursuing our dreams? People will listen to what you do a whole lot quicker than they listen to what you say. So when they see you actually going after and doing, like, I know you have a book in you. Name it and claim it. You got a book in you. Yes. So when they see you write that book, get that book published, there's nothing that speaks louder than our actions.
Brandon, will you write me a recommendation for my book?
Yes!
I want you to, Brand.
I love it. See, and it all starts with a seed. It all starts with a small seed. And I think too, because with each generation, and I'm sure you can attest to this, like your parents were probably like, oh, you know, you all don't listen, you're disrespectful, you're this, you're that, or whatever. And every generation says this. Every generation does that. So we look at the new generation and like, oh, they're not like we were. Well, they're not supposed to be like we were. They're supposed to take all of the good things and all the things that we learned and then change in this next generation, become better in this next generation. So when you see them show up and, hey, want to be a YouTuber or like want to be a, you know, a professional gamer, like, okay, Dad, look.
We're striving for something else.
I want to thank you so much for taking the time out to watch this video. If you found value in what you saw and you're ready to take your next step or just get some more information, reach out to me at ask@havilahmalone.com. That's ask@HAVILAHMALONE.com. And let's stay connected on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Havilah Malone. I can't wait to hear from you and know that your goal is closer than you think.